You know that's like what it is, right? You ready? Why don't you take it from my WhatsApp? No, screenshot. Minimize it. I'm about to go live. Bring my phone quickly, please. Please, it's late.
Broadcasting live from Stanton in Johannesburg. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jamal Khan's Radio.
Good evening and welcome. Welcome. Guys, it's been a while. I've been missing you guys. Welcome. This is Breaking Through with Tumie Tau. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sitting with a powerhouse, a think shifter, a solutionist, and of course, a businessman. Dumela Abuti Elton, how are you?
Tumie, how are you?
I'm good. Yes. How are you? Tell us.
I'm great. I'm great. I'm excited. I'm excited to be here.
Yes.
It's really an honor to have this opportunity to engage with you today.
No, thank you so much for honoring the invite, Mr. Phiri. Elton?
Yeah, what's up?
So breaking through is all about groundbreaking, things. I mean, breaking through as an individual, it can be a very challenging thing to actually find your niche
100%.
and actually get a breakthrough in it.
Right.
So unpack to us. We want to know, who is Elton Phiri and where you're from,
Okay.
Yeah, just tell us who you are. We're so interested.
Absolutely. So Elton Phiri is an entrepreneur, an enthusiastic entrepreneur, really passionate about what he does, really passionate about the world,
Yes.
very introvert, very, very, very optimistic about the future. And as an entrepreneur, my goal, my vision is to actually be part of finding solutions to the problems that we face.
Yes.
I'm from the East Rand, currently residing in the East Rand, and that is
Okay.
home for me.
Yes. We're in the East Rand.
It's been home for a while. Spray View.
Shout out to Spread View, ba. Your boy is doing it, guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm from Spread View. That's the hood. That's been the hood for the past couple of years. And I'm really proud to be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Elton, so unpack to us like your passion for business, for entrepreneurship, because being an entrepreneur, you're supposed to identify a problem and then you have to unpack it and give a solution.
Absolutely.
So tell us, how did you then get to actually find your niche?
Yeah.
You know, and what, like the passion. How did you actually get, you know, like understand that I've got a passion, business, and this is actually what I want to do. When did it start?
How long do we have, dude?
We have an hour.
Yeah, no, absolutely. To me, for me, the entrepreneurship bug hit me when I was very, very young.
Okay.
There's something about not necessarily making money, but the idea that you have something that you're passionate about and you see it come into life. So for me, first, by chance, it just so happened that, you know, in the country that we're currently living in, we have so many problems. The unemployment rate is through the roof. As we know, up at West for all is the youth unemployment rate, and that is something that it just so happened that, you know, I really have a passion for entrepreneurship. I really want to be part of solving the solution. The idea is to become wealthy and achieve large forms of success, but at the same time, it's solving that problem. It's solving the unemployment challenges that we have and being part of the solution and creating job creation. So in terms of where my passion came from, I had the opportunity of doing a little bit of sampling entrepreneurship in my growing up youth, and I've always been very fascinated about it. I've always loved the idea that you can create something and it can actually lead to something much bigger, that could be something much bigger than you, that could lead to job creation for other people as well. So, you know, it was something of a matter of, you know, I really want to be a part of the solution in terms of finding jobs opportunities, creating job opportunities, and hopefully the idea is obviously to profit from it. So that's literally just in a nutshell why my entrepreneurship journey is.
So what birthed the bug of actually the kind of concept that you have? Like what birthed it, and how do you see yourself? Is it the first, is it going to be the first annual, you know, or have you done other events before?
Absolutely. So no, this is actually going to be our, I guess you could say, our first attempt. We had
groundbreaking, breaking through, guys.
Absolutely. We had a demo in 28th of June. Unfortunately, it didn't work out the way we planned to, but that's the beautiful thing about entrepreneurship.
You had to learn
about that. So I learned a couple of mistakes that I did. I saw what I went wrong, and I actually jotted it down. I wrote it down, and you know, you got hold of people that are actually much more advanced than you, much more experienced than you, that know exactly what they're doing, and you can engage with them, you can speak with them, and they can tell you, dude, listen, this is what you're missing, this is where you went wrong. And that's one of the best things about the entrepreneurship journey, is that you're learning as you go along. So, you know, the bug that bit me would be the idea that I really love watching small businesses. I love watching them perform. I've had the pleasure of sampling a lot of these other crop markets that I've attended, and I've seen how, you know, people have so much passion for their entrepreneur, passion for their work, passion for what they're creating, be it a product that they're creating, be it a bracelet, be it the meal, be it handbags, how they're so how so they're enthusiastic about it, about this is my business, this is something I want to be proud of. And that's one of the things that that led me to this, is that I want to create that platform where we celebrate entrepreneurship essentially, but also at the same time we celebrate small businesses, we celebrate women-led businesses, we celebrate South African manufacturing. That's something that we're not speaking a lot of. That we have to be saying,
we're busy buying things from China.
Overseas, you know, we definitely need to get into a space where we start saying things that are saying made from South Africa, made from this part of South Africa. Maybe we can even simplify it even less. Made in Cape Town, made in Johannesburg, made in Limpopo. It's something that is very special that we need to be celebrating. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to be on this platform, to say, listen, guys, here's an environment, small businesses, let's work together, let's get you out there. And it's not just going to be see the business visually. We want to also work in the back end where you can actually see the business from a social media platform that, you know, this business is doing the following 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the reason why we need to support them and get them up and running as well.
Yes. So tell us about, you speak about being working behind the scenes. Have you actually owned a store yourself? And what was your product of choice?
So it's a bit more complicated then, because again, this is to be honest with me, my third attempt in business. My first 2 businesses unfortunately didn't go up as well.
And we thank God for the experiences. I mean, hello, we've got the scars to show for the greatness that we're about to encounter.
Absolutely. I like what you mentioned, scars. That's exactly what entrepreneurship is. It's a battlefield. And you know, you're gonna either be killed in the battlefield or you're gonna wake up and try again. So the first business, unfortunately, I had miscalculated on my part. And it's one of those miscalculations that made me learn that, listen, dude, this is one of the things that you didn't consider. One of the things, for example, is that I didn't consider the fact that the market is changing, the market is evolving. So what might be in today is not going to be popular tomorrow. And that's one of the things that I actually had to learn with my first business. The first business was a skateboard park that I tried to create. With
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So English.
No, dude, I really have a passion for skateboarding. I love skateboarding. I'm a big fan of the GameX. And, we watched this and I thought, why aren't we actually creating a skateboard park in a certain part of Johannesburg? I only learned at a later stage that, people aren't paying to go into skateboard parks. In fact, skateboarders get upset with skateboard parks because they're very restricted and they're not able to do what they're trying to do. So that business unfortunately didn't take off. Second business was I was trying to work with a brand in which we were supporting supplements. So the guys that work out, we wanted to advertise with them as well. What I didn't learn about that is that in the retail industry, marketing is usually part of the budget. So you'll find that, you want to advertise this, but then the brand is going to be like, but we already paid for the marketing. So we're not going to pay an additional fee. And then there's no way that the retail brand is going to be saying, look, we're going to take a portion out of the budget to pay you. So that obviously, unfortunately, didn't work. But again, it was a learning curve because what I learned out of that is that people don't like to buy things purely from seeing it on the screen. They prefer tangible goods. They want to see it and touch it and feel it. And that's what makes them buy the product even more. So it's those learning curves that made me lead to my third attempt in business. Obviously, this is not guaranteed. There might be failures, but it's something that I'm prepared to, take on. And I've had overwhelming support, family and friends, and it's something that we think that, dude, let's take it. Let's take the shot. Who knows where we can end up with this.
Shout out to everyone that's been praying for you because we should not remove the faith part of it. And I think I'm very proud of you. And you're actually doing great things. And there's no glory without a story, my brother. The higher the building, the deeper the foundation. So more than anything, 100%. I think what I love about you and your concept is that you're a thinker. We look at other races, that have went ahead of us, and we think these people, they did this, this. But to be honest with you, they're thinkers.
No, of course.
You need to thoroughly think first before you do anything. 100%, and you need to expound and extract, and you need to get in people that are not your cheerleaders, people 100%. That are not involved in your business, so that they can be blunt with you, actually, just to be precise. So I'm very, very, very proud of you in this conversation. Wow, we are yet to hear more, you guys. We are in studio in the heart of Sandton. Of course, it's going down. Absolutely. Up next, we're playing I Surrender. It's a reprise. Enjoy. Thank you. No, but the thing is,
I saw it.
But you're doing well. Shut up, guys. Mr. Money here. You must remember us.
Mr. Money.
So you're speaking well, man. You're just vibing.
You gave me a crib note, so to speak. You gave me the crib note, so to speak, in terms of what you're going on.
Yeah.
But again, this is the conversation that I would have with anybody. So again, 100%. Also, thank you very much. I'm very comfortable. Sure.
So what kind of products have you, what kind of stalls, the people that you've already, what are they?
Okay, so we're going to be working mostly, we have terms and conditions with the management that we're going to be working with. And they said, look, we don't mind, we won't charge you, but please note that you can't sell food because that's going to clash with our business. You can't sell alcohol because that's going to clash with our business as well. So as a start, we started with guys that sell accessories, clothes, art, and everything. But eventually, we want to have our own spot where we can say, guys, have everything. So this is just the start in terms of saying, okay, we've got a market now, we've got a venue now. Now we have to just get that up and running, and then before you know it, we'll have our own environment where guys go ahead and sell food, sell alcohol. No, we're trying.
Do you have a 9 to 5? Or?
No, this is my 9 to 5.
What do you eat, bro?
The thing is, I have family that is still supportive, and I won't lie, I still have some savings. But at the same time, you have to be very strategic with how things go. You don't want to be I don't go out every 5 minutes. I don't go party every 5 minutes. Because all that capital goes back into my business. So it's something that, it's just the thing I want to work. Trust me, if I had a 9 to 5, I wouldn't be able to do this. Because look at how we meet. How would I be able to meet the people that I meet if I'm sitting in a desk office and I'm not going out and networking? So this is just an example, quintessential example of how we met. Because if I didn't stand up and say, "Hey, all of us, I would have never met you." If I had that question at one point. The last job I had was in 2019, just before COVID. And I had that thought, Elton, are you going to sacrifice this 9 to 5 to pursue this job, this vision, this business, or are you going to work the 9 to 5? The trouble with the 9 to 5 is it's going to be very restricting, because if I have to say, "Sir, I have to go see this, I need to take time off to it," my boss is eventually going to say, "Elton, do you want to work here, or do you want to?" Because I can't pay you to work. So that decision had to be ultimately made. Take jump, take a leap of faith, or you just stay where you are. I'm gonna send you a video of, I'm sure you know Jordan Peterson. Very profound, very professional. He's got one video that I love where he asks the question: would you stay in an environment that you're not happy about and just watch the world pass you by? Or are you prepared to take that shot and say, "Listen, dude, I don't know where I'm gonna end up, but at least let me try"?
I think for me, like entrepreneurship or anything, because purpose, rather,
Yes.
purpose is a mind game. You must really be ready.
Of course. No,
Because you must be willing to risk it all. Right? I mean, this song, we're going to talk about it on air.
Okay. I'm listening to
I mean, like, with, no, we're going to talk, I think it's nice. I don't want to prepare you. I want to order you, Baba.
I've never heard it. Let me hear it.
Yeah?
Let me hear it.
No, this song.
Are you saying we're going to talk about the song?
And when the song of the Lord
This song is titled I Surrender. So there's a question around what we just touched on that I want to ask
I think I know you
regarding surrendering.
I think I know
it's
you
oftentimes easy
So I'm
to
going to prepare that answer.
caught
But
in
I think I know you
preparing for what's next.
Ah!
What God is asking for us in this season,
It's something that's really.
as
I
we
broadcasting
live
Yeah,
from
it's-
in Johannesburg, ladies and gentlemen,
I think we don't like people to be
Jamal Comes Radio.
hearing the full
Just
song. Then we must still advertise who we
But
are.
a simple
Yeah.
So the CEO is the one that created this whole area.
Yeah.
lifestyle.
He also is crazy.
Okay.
All these
So we
businesses
are
are his.
almost
Can
to
you
the
see?
place
There's Shaval,
where he feels like
Those are his
everyone that's here
He's actually a news
is here
anchor
to
on
be
SABC.
woven together
Yeah, he reads
with
news
the remnant sitting next to you.
in Zonga.
Oh.
Yeah,
That
then
when
this
we're
is what
done,
he does.
We leave here
Part of,
as a
yeah.
fabric
Crazy people.
to cover the city,
Yeah.
as a fabric to
Do you
cover
have
the
his contact
nation, as a
details?
Yeah.
Do you have
fabric
his
to
contact
cover
details?
our
Yeah, but I
communities,
need
as
to
a
ask the
fabric
person.
to cover our
Well, I
churches.
Yeah.
I should have asked the
Don't
question.
stress is easy.
Let's
Yeah.
remove,
Maybe something
so
we could
says the
discuss
Spirit of God, the
I think
spectator from our expectation. And if you could,
I've
just
seen a
those
pot
that are
like with
here,
having 100 things.
if you stay,
You need to
stay
master one.
because
Right.
And then,
Check
because
the
if you have
just
100
good.
things,
Yeah.
then you
not
are,
because
You're
you're
all over the
waiting
place.
and there's
for
no
what's next.
Yes.
synergy.
True.
You
You
know?
can't surrender.
So I think it's well and
Never
great,
believe.
but it's good to keep the vision
So
board
says the
alive,
Spirit.
but be good at one.
Of course. Of course.
When one has really given you the kind of turnover that you want, you know?
Of course. Not to me.
So that's my thing. I've also had businesses. I've had.
No, I'm sure.
I've partnered with government. I've tapped into government funding. I've done quite a lot.
Yeah.
So
No, I get you. The memory.
Broadcasting live from Stanton in Johannesburg. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jamal Comes Radio.
guys, you're still sitting with me, Tumie Tau, on Breaking Through, guys. We're breaking ground, we're unpacking, we're talking about the reality of life, you know, people that have actually made it, normal people that you would actually find, you know, at a reception area or, you know, wherever you are. But just to know that you can never take people lightly. And this is a show where ordinary people that you just see on a random, they're actually doing big things, guys. You know, it also is a show where it imparts the knowledge about business, the arts, you know, finance, you know, and every other thing that has to do with life in itself. and healing, guys. Like, it's important for us to actually also tap into the power within of who we are, because God cannot bless a mess, guys. He's a God of order. So we're sitting with Elton, Mr. Elton Phiri. He's a guru himself in his own right, a business person. So, Elton, I want you to unpack to us, like you say, you spoke about a certain person and the clip that you would want to share with me and the likes. I just want to know from you, like, when did the dream die, and what made you to come up? Because the dream has to die. The seed has to die before it germinates,
True.
And I mean, you've had 2 failed businesses. This is your 3rd attempt.
Of course.
So when did it die, for you to actually come up like this with confidence, and saying, listen, this is what I'm doing. I'm taking the first step, when did it, what happened? Take us through that part of your life.
Absolutely. So I'm sure you've heard the phrase, you only live once. And I mean, to me, you don't want to live a life of regret. You don't want to wake up one day in your deathbed and you're thinking, man, I should have done that. I could have figured this out. I'll give you an example. In my neighborhood, there was this old abandoned building. And I always looked at that building and thought, man, I can turn that building into a gym. I could. I like working out. I could be a gym. I did some research here and there. I spoke to a couple of gym owners, franchising and stuff, and it didn't go anywhere. Eventually, I just abandoned the idea. I regret that idea. Why? Because that very building got converted into a gym, and it's a successful gym. It's packed. It's working every day. People are working out every day. People are there every day, and it's like, dude, you had that idea. That was in your head. You could have done that, So it's things like that that now get me much more prepared and much more in focus, because you don't know what the next thing might be. You might be sitting on an idea that might fail, or it might be the next multi-billion rand, $billion concept that might, elevate you further. Obviously, we're not looking just focus on the money as well, but you focus on getting this idea up and running. So in terms of the dream having to die, look, for me, it was a sense of sitting back and thinking, dude, you're going to have this opportunity and you're probably never going to have it again. So are you going to look at it and think, I don't think I can do that. I don't think I should do that. Or are you going to say, you know what, I'm going to do that? Because if you don't get up and do it, someone else will do it. No different to my gym example from I just explained. Someone will do it. There's
always someone. There's nothing new under the sun.
Absolutely. So you gotta have that I guess you could say enthusiasm to say, look, I want to be the person that tries it. And sure, if I fail, by all means, but I'm going to learn something from that failure. I'm going to learn something from having tried. At least I tried. You can always pat yourself on the back for saying, I tried that. It didn't work out the way I wanted to. Maybe while it is in its messy stage, you can still figure it out and salvage it and say, you know what, I didn't realize it this way, but maybe if we try it this way, or maybe if we try it that way. It goes to that adage or that saying by Thomas Edison. I'm not sure if it is his, but the light bulb, we've all heard it, where he says that he tried 10,000 times to build a light bulb and it failed 10,000 times. And his answer was, I didn't fail, I just learned 10,000 ways how not to build a light bulb. And that's just one of those things that you gotta have that progression to say, look, I'm going to continue trying. Yes, it's going to fail. Yes, it's going to hit me hard. Yes, it's going to be difficult. Yes, it's going to be an uphill battle. But as long as I'm focused on that goal, I'm not going to give up on it.
Wow. Sure.
I love motivational quotes. Sorry to
No, go for it. It's your time.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of motivational quotes. I try to read at least 3 a day.
Okay.
And some of them are the ones that stick in my head. One of my personal favorites is the one by Dr. Martin Luther King, where he said, you don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. It's something like that is so meaningful. As entrepreneurs, we won't always have the answer, but it's important that we just try. And you've got another one by another entrepreneur that I really look up to, unfortunately passed away years ago, Mr. Henry Ford.
Okay.
He's the founder of Ford Motor
Ford,
Company.
of course.
Yes. And he said, you only see obstacles when you take your eye off the goal. So that's truly the real passion about it. You're going to have fears. You're going to have doubts. You're going to have all of these things in your head. But as long as you focus on the goal, that then I know what I'm trying to build. I know what I'm trying to do. Yes, it's going to have complexity. Yes, I'm going to run out of money. Yes, I'm going to have people I'm gonna have to deal with, supplies and everything. But here is the goal. Let's stick to that. And as long as you got that, I think you got more than enough.
Wow, yay! Guys, we are sitting with a powerhouse here. He's not coming to play. He's got all his guns and his ducks are in a row.
Thank you.
So I want you to please unpack to us like the hills. What has been the highlights, you know, of your entrepreneurship journey?
Yeah.
What has been the highlights of it?
Okay.
Like what has made your baby leap? Like
Yeah.
has made you kick, you know, your blankets and get out of the bed and go to gym and, you know, meet people and do your research and things like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Unpack for us.
I'm gonna pack it in 3 tiers. 3 being the lowest, 1 being the highest. First, it's networking and engaging. There's nothing that gives me more joy than speaking to an entrepreneur and saying, dude, I have this platform. I'd like to advertise your business to be a part of my crop market. Would you like to be a part of it? And entrepreneurs like, yeah, definitely. I want to be a part of this. I want to definitely work on this. I think this is something that is going to be very special. This is something that I'm definitely going to benefit from. I definitely want to be a part of it. That's number 3.
Yes.
Number 2 was the property that we managed to gain for our crop market. It's a property that I've always had my eye on. And when I managed to get a hold of the landlord, our landlord who's going to be working with us. You know, we had to have a meeting. We had to sit down with him, and I had to explain to him, dude, this is what I'm trying to achieve. This is what I want to do.
Yes.
I definitely believe that this property is going to be useful for this vision. It's going to be useful for what we're trying to achieve, and we definitely want to work with this property. And then it was really a pleasure for me to, when he eventually said, look, dude, I think this would work. The property's available. Use it. So that was something that was, it's not every day where someone will tell you, dude, here's the property, go and use it. And also being very cognizant of the fact that you're a small business. He's not going to try to take advantage of you. He's not going to sign you into a 100-year lease that you have to be accountable for every month. You know, this is someone this is an entrepreneur himself, so he knows the journey. And he was able to say, look, dude, I understand what you're going through. I'm not going to be easy in the beginning, but you know what? There's the property, it's available. You just pay me what you can. And we worked on a very beautiful deal where it's a pay per usage. So I'm not tied to a lease where every month I have to pay.
Yo, look at COVID, bruh. Like, hey.
It wiped out a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's another topic. But
yes.
And then, Tumie, the number one thing that definitely gets me out of bed is definitely, as I've mentioned, my family. I unfortunately was not getting any of the funding that I required. I applied many places, we weren't getting anywhere. My family saw what I was going through and they said, listen, dude, this is very special to you. This is very important to you. We'll help out what we can. So family came through and said, listen, here's some money. It's not a lot of money, but it's something. And that's what really made me really inspired to say, you know what, this is something.
When you have the right kind of support, it actually gives you the confidence to actually run.
Absolutely. So those 3 tied. The entrepreneurs that I engage with, the property that we have, and family being a big supporter, having my back, that's really something that's very special. That, you know, you could say, look, dude, I'm building this, it's not for me, this is for us, this is for all of us. And if this works out, you know, this is something that I want you all to be proud of.
Wow. Hey! Hi guys, studio powerhouse. So on that note, we're going to play We Worship You, and then we're going to unpack, you know, about his faith journey. You know, what is he standing on? What makes him stand on higher ground? You know, what are his beliefs and values? Up next, we're playing We Worship You by my sister, Juanita Payne. Enjoy. Wow, yeah, it's been such an eventful and colorful journey for you, eh? But I think you're speaking the truth, because as much as we feel like we're islands, we do need support. And I think the biggest support that you need is from your family. People that you know that even if you fall back, they'll catch you. I think that's very, that's fulfilling. That's so fulfilling. Wow. Yeah, but you're doing well, eh? We're unpacking. 30 minutes in. Yes.
I'm having fun. I'm having fun.
But towards the end, that's when you're gonna unpack about your event that's coming up, you know, and things like that. So I just wanted to know, did you study anything and things like that?
Yes, I've got business administration. I'm currently trying to pursue my honors degree and do my MBA.
Hello, you're going so far. Yeah.
Full disclaimer is doctorate. That is something I'm
PhD in business. There's a guy that actually wants you to meet. He's got a PhD in business.
So I'll be so awesome.
No, there you owe me. You owe me.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
he actually has a program. Don't just look. Actually, yeah, when I get told to Savannah,
I'm listening.
no,
I'm
there's
here.
no. You remind me so much of myself. There's that same guy that I want you to meet. He actually has a school of entrepreneurship where you study those courses. They're certified and everything. SETA, what. And they love working with people that actually have existing businesses because they're really going to like literally undress your business and then clothe you and see where you know. I mean, I was it's called the Buga board. I'm not sure if it's still there.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to
write
meet
it
you.
down?
No problem. Go for it.
Feeling I honestly appreciate it. Buka board.
Yeah, Buga board.
Board spelled BORA.
Yes, like a board members, yeah. Yeah.
With regards to pursuing my education, I've been trying to get bursaries. Not easy, especially if you're post grad. So that's something that I thought, I'll put it on pause for now, but it's compulsory. I've even given myself that time limit to say before 40. I'm 32 years old now.
Oh, you're so young.
32, I feel old. I feel like an adult.
My popodran. You're very young, you know.
But like the idea is that
and keep the promises that you make to yourself.
No,
I think that's when you will also see that you're actually serious.
No.
You have to keep the promises you make to yourself. That's so important. Like
I really like that. I really appreciate that. So you in JSE, you're doing this outstanding job in Jamal. Could you talk me a lot about entrepreneurship? Is there anything else that you're involved in?
I was involved in everything. I'll tell you my story.
I look forward to hearing this one because I'm engaging with you and you're asking questions from an entrepreneur. So you know yourself. You know exactly what you're doing. You talked about the patent. So that's something also that's special that you clearly know exactly about. So
take me out for lunch, we'll unpack and pick my brain.
I will. That is definitely it's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen.
I'm so exhausted actually. I went to church yesterday. So I go to church every Wednesday, Friday and Sunday. I'm a Jesus girl, guys. I'm a Jesus girl.
I know, absolutely.
And being in God's presence for me right now.
You gotta have it.
So yeah, I've got very good networks. Like I've had a couple of my friends actually come in. They run very successful businesses. And for me, like like God is rebuilding me. And it's the undoing, and it's the undoing and the rebuilding because he's the only person that can fire you and keep you higher. And like I would ask him, like, what am I doing here, God? And he's like, no, character. You're here to learn. I want to chisel your character. So that's why I'm at the JC, for character purposes. That's why I'm very opinionated. Like I don't play around.
I saw
Even
that.
everyone they know.
I saw that. No, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I tell them that this is not who I am. So don't come to me.
Absolutely.
Not come to me. Actually, you can actually Google me. Things like that.
Yeah.
I always tell people there that, especially you people that are hiding behind degrees. Because if I remove the degree, who are you? See, I'm standing.
Exactly.
I know who I am. I'm not a receptionist. I'm just passing. This is just a means to an end.
But
the
again,
current situation that I'm in, but I'm passing.
And that's another thing. People should never underestimate that.
But people are like that. Remember, we're living in a very fickle time where people are very vainglorious, where people are into themselves and things like that. So that's where we are. So for me, it's like,
I would look. It's something that I've dealt with as well, where the truth gets out there because you are not where.
No, I don't play like even everyone. So I love that position, honestly. Like I've declined 2 promotions because I'm not interested in corporate. My people, cleaners, handymen, securities, it's so nice because you get to actually see their thinking and things like that. And I love people, like I'm burdened for people, man, So I'm not bored there.
No.
Like it's like, to be honest with you, I don't do anything. I just get there to collect.
Yeah.
And while I'm collecting, most of the time I'm actually right now I'm busy. There's a book that I'm reading. There was a course that I was doing because the JC was paying for it, but it was too hectic for me because mentally there's a lot that I'm actually going through personally.
Yeah.
So mentally I was like, no, I need to pack this.
Yeah.
So they returned their money, and it was through UCT, it was digital marketing, because I want to actually also rebuild myself as well.
Yeah.
So there's quite a lot.
At your own time, dude.
There's quite a lot.
And okay.
Maybe
unpack
in
the
summer
whole-
when the weather is agreeing, because
Yeah.
winter, bro. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I saw that with when you wrote this your name contact out. You said, I want to interview you when I come. And as I was thinking about it, I was like, interview, I'm not ready for it. And you're like, you're in, I'm writing it down. I'm like, this lady, she's already taking my details. But at the same time, as you were saying that, I thought, but dude, who's going to give you this
What are
opportunity?
you waiting for?
Who's going to give you this opportunity?
Yeah.
You're going to say, Elton, dude, there's your platform, speak about it,
Yeah.
you know? So, again, I truly appreciate this opportunity.
No,
it's
it's
something
fine, bro. I mean, you were ready. You were
Definitely,
ready.
definitely. I'm fighting. I'm just reading some of the messages that are coming in from family.
What are they saying?
I have a friend here. You are very well spoken, by the way.
You.
This is what someone friends of mine. This is the person that I want you to meet as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
You are though. You speak well. You paid the price, bro. To be where you are today, right here, right now, you really paid the price. Let's go. We're gonna talk about your walk with God, your journey, faith, and we back, guys. We back with Mr. Elton Phiri himself. Elton?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been chatting even off air, it's always very nice to just stretch it a bit longer, get exclusive intel.
Right.
I want you to unpack for us like your journey, in faith. And of course, God has kept you moving. We all are people called for purpose, but more than anything, you can never birth yourself.
Right.
Your altar, what are you standing on?
Absolutely.
In whom do you believe?
Absolutely.
And I mean, your source, we human, we're born human, but we spirit, and we're here to have a spiritual experience, and it's a language that also speaks into your soul.
Absolutely.
So I want to know from you, like, what has kept you? I know that it's God, but your go-to scriptures, the unlearning to learn, those scriptures that really just put you back on track, the faith scriptures, your mantras, when I say mantra, I'm using that word carelessly, but I'm speaking about your altar, so take us on your journey of faith, to actually even birth this business and the tenacity to keep fighting. Unpack that for us.
Tumie, you read about I'm sorry, I'm not a Bible buffing.
Go for it. Be yourself.
I know, most of my Bible. And one of the things that I really love the story about how the Israelites were released from Egypt. And you read about how they went through the desert and how they were being tested by God, and God was picking out the weeds, and he wanted because he promised them the promised land, and he didn't want it to be just any random person that's going to be in there and might infect it and dirty the soil. So it's the journey itself. Yes, it was hard, it was arduous, it was difficult. They were blasted by the sun. There's hardly any water. Some of the people that they left with didn't make it to the whole journey, and it's that
most of them actually didn't make it.
Absolutely, but it's really that idea that why would God do that? And you find that no, God is preparing you for this beautiful land that He has reserved for you, and He doesn't want you to just have any random people. To me, I won't lie, I have lost friends, but it's not people that I thought, this is someone that I want to hold on to for the rest of my life. You'll find that maybe this person is really not good for you in the long run. You do not want to surround yourself, you being an optimistic, you don't want to surround yourself by people that are pessimistic, that are thinking, man, that won't work. That business idea won't work. You failed 2 times. How do you not know you're going to fail the 3rd time? What you want to do is have people that say, dude, okay, let's try it again. Let's try it the 3rd time, 4th time, 5th time, 100th time, whatever. And in those presents, you have that person that is there for you and say, okay, here's what we've learned. Now we have to try it again. So I attribute that with that journey that the Israelites took. I also attribute it to the test that Jesus Christ was given in the 40 days and 40 nights in the desert. And you know, he had the ability to turn stone into bread, but he didn't, because he knew that, listen, this is not what I'm meant to do. I'm supposed to go through this journey, and God is watching, God is testing me. And I absolutely have faith in that as well. I have faith that, you know, what it is that I'm going through is something that's going to lead me to something much more prosperous, something that is going to be, you know, of value to not just me, not to my family, but to everyone that is part of it.
And to impact a generation.
Absolutely. So that's just genuinely where I am with my faith. That's genuinely where I am in terms of how I move forward, and you know, with what I believe in and how I believe in the faith that I have. And it's just something that I'm really proud of, something that I would never in any way disregard.
What is your go-to scripture? He's thinking, guys. That means it's not a go-to scripture at this point.
It's not to say I don't have one. It's which one? Because they all have...
that one that when I wake you up at 2 a.m. like, hey, Voga Baba, you'll be able to say, you know, that scripture out, you know, like. Yes, you have to be put on. You must be ready. But to stay hungry,
it would definitely. I think it's John 16.
Wow.
John 3:16.
Yes.
I mean, without the Father, you know, without Jesus Christ, only through Him. And I mean, it's something that's really special that we have to be a part of. I'm happy to have had a mother that's grounded me to say,
thank you, mommy. Shout out to mommy.
You know, yeah, exactly. And it's just one of those things that she's very faith driven. She's very strong in her faith as well. And a day doesn't go by where she doesn't mention Jesus Christ. A day doesn't go by where she doesn't mention God. You know, we even mentioned it in a scary scenario in terms of we seeing what's happening all over the world in terms of global warming, and she's like, "Dude, we have to prepare for this. This is something that we have to be a part of." So it's just one of those things that just keep me grounded in the sense of, if I open the Bible and I read this particular scripture, this is what it's led me to.
Wow. Were you birthed by entrepreneurs yourself, or?
No.
Really?
My parents, my dad is very, very, he's into the he's a network engineer. He loves his IT. He's a big fan of IT. He's a big fan of tech.
Yes.
If anything I've gotten from him is that he loves.
I'm sure
tech.
the gadgets are in your home. I mean, you know, we can come and shoot. You know what I mean?
He just loves his toys. He's always buying brand new toys and stuff as well. I mean, we've got something that keeps us going during global. Load shedding.
Yeah.
So it's something that's really special, and I mean, he just loves his gadgets. We even have to fight with him every single time we go to a macro. He goes straight to the digital section. We're like, dude, don't buy anything. We just have for groceries. And stuff. So, you know, Dad really loves. He's a big fan of tech. He's a big tech geek. Mom as well. She's always passionate about her faith. She's always passionate about her garden. She loves her garden.
Oh, mommy! So she's got like a veggie patch there. So you guys are having organic veggies
every day. All of her fruits from our home comes from Mom's garden.
Wow!
She's got a garden. She teaches you it. We're talking about it the other day. And she says that, you know, my garden is my communication with my God.
Oh wow. And that's such a powerful message in the garden in itself.
Absolutely.
Like, I always love, you know, just to expand on that, like, there's logic behind everything, you know, and sure, I just love that. Like, there's logic behind everything.
True.
And sometimes we look at people, like, even a person, or in saying the person that manufacturing like these coppers, you think about that, like, dude, really, you know?
True.
And of course, there's a lot of toxins, and that's a topic for another day. But
we still love it.
Just that idea, it has made him millions.
Of course.
Millions or even billions. The keep guys, Limazimba, add 5 or add 50 cents or whatever. I don't know if they still exist, things like that.
They're never gonna leave the hood. They always
like, not all of us are actually gonna have big mind-blowing ideas that are, you know, like, I think also another thing, as business people, as entrepreneurs, it's important for us to respect one another, because everything is needed, you know, from bottled water, you know, from a pen, a pencil, things like that.
Absolutely.
We're not all going to come up with Mark Shuttleworth ideas and things like that, you know. So I respect that. I really respect that, you know, her garden is actually her ministry, and that's where she actually speaks to God.
True.
Wow, that's amazing.
She's very passionate about it. She's got a green thumb. everything gardening. She watches garden shows.
Sure.
It's just her thing. We've got all kinds.
So I see you guys relocating to a farm sometime.
She's had that conversation with us before, but she said that it's not going to be anytime soon. It's when she's in a golden age. But it's something that she would be definitely happy to
wow,
do.
you guys.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you have any siblings? You want to do shout outs to your family and your siblings, of course, just to digress?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
A little shout out to my little brother. He's actually one of my investors. So
hello.
Absolutely.
Wow. I love how you light up when you speak about family. I mean, God is a God that blesses family.
Absolutely.
Unity, because that's what the enemy's after.
Yes. I also have my older sister.
Okay.
And she's got her 2 beautiful daughters, my nieces, and she's also just a big light in my life. She's also a big supporter. My nieces of my life as well. They were just recently with us when the schools were closed. So they were keeping us busy.
Yeah.
I still have
Uncle, come, we need some.
Oh, yes, exactly that. Yes. Yes, but it's a blessing, dude, and you can always be thankful for it. And despite how annoying they are, now that they're not with us, you actually miss them. You actually miss that noise.
Yes.
So it's a gift and a curse, but at the same time, it's something that I'm very proud to have. Families, everything as well.
Wow. So now we're going to unpack about your actual upcoming event.
Sure.
Take us through it.
Yes.
And I understand that you're going to be having an event soon, next month. Unpack for us.
Sure.
What is that all about?
I really wish I should have put a flyer, but I'm actually working on it as well. But it's going to be definitely, I will send you the details and everything regarding it.
Sure.
So yes.
Where is it going to be held?
Correct. You're going to be hosting it at the Soweto Towers.
Oh,
yes,
where they do bungee jumping and quad biking and the likes. That's
absolutely.
Nice.
The bungee jumping.
Nice venue.
Absolutely. The bungee jumping owner is actually my landlord.
Oh, wow.
So he's the one I was talking about.
Okay.
So he's the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
We're starting with I'm sure you're familiar with Chuck Posey. That's also where they're based.
Yeah, but funny, I've never been there.
Great place.
Great place.
Great food. It's great venue.
Yeah.
Delicious food and everything. And they've also worked with us. They've achieved that. They assisted us and said, listen, dude, this property is available. You can work here as well. So it's that partnership with working with them. So on the 27th of August, we're hoping to have our first launch where we're going to be inviting a whole bunch of entrepreneurs. We want them to be a part of it. We want to be advertising. We're going to be sending all flyers everywhere. I'm part of a WhatsApp group that I will definitely add you on, where we're going to be speaking with small businesses and sending out the invite. The flyer will be available very soon. I will also share with you my details where people could find us if they are interested with working with us. My company, African Potential, has got 15 available. That's 15 available kiosks. We're hoping to grow it to just over 25, maybe before the end of the year, hopefully next year as well. But the goal is to obviously be working with small businesses, having a venue for small businesses. And at a later stage, we want to have an environment where live performers can come in, do their thing, listen to music and so forth. And that's generally where we're starting. But obviously, everything starts small. We have to start with getting the word out there and everybody becoming familiar with the idea. So that's generally what my business can be about. There are other opportunities that African Potential is going to be a part of, but we wanted to focus with the foundation first, being the craft market itself. But there are other visions that we are going to be definitely pursuing in the future.
Any social media handles where we can follow your journey or your business journey?
Absolutely. So,
or if any of our listeners actually want to book a stall, or
absolutely, So, in terms of booking a store, you can get a hold of me on my WhatsApp. It's 074 318 7941. But I will also leave the details as well with you. We have a WhatsApp platform.
Can you repeat your number?
Sure. It's 074 318 7941.
Nice.
In terms of our email address, where people can get a hold of me directly, I'm always on my emails.
Yes.
It's African Potential, one word, 19. So African Potential 19 at gmail.com. And that's where anybody that wants to book a kiosk can get a hold of me directly. I'll definitely reserve a kiosk for them as well. And then in terms of our socials, yes, we do have a WhatsApp and an Instagram page. Our Instagram page is African Potential Market. It's still very new. I haven't added any data because we still obviously want to capture as much details as possible. But we will definitely be promoting the flyers on it, and people will be able to view it as well. So that's where we currently are. We do also have a Facebook page, the African Potential Market, where we're going to be updating our content as well.
Wow. Hey. Hi guys, we're gonna play you a song just to remind you that you are definitely going to be great. Let's go. Wow. Woo.
Do me.
Hmm.
I'm having fun. I'm really having fun. I'm enjoying it.
Listen to the song. You know what it's titled? I will be one of the greatest. Hey, yeah. Do you have Shazam on your phone? Huh? I will be one of the greatest. You must read the lyrics. Go to the lyrics. Hey. Hey. It's nice, eh? Even the lyrics, like really.
What's the next move for you?
Yeah.
What's the next move for you?
So I'm gonna be launching my skincare line. I'm gonna be launching my foundation. My program actually this one great foundation program that I'm really wanting to run. But I'm already busy writing a book.
Wow. Are you gonna tell me the title?
That's it.
Are you gonna tell me the title?
It's like it's a hectic.
Broadcasting live from Stanton in Johannesburg. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jamal Combs Radio.
We back, guys, on Breaking Through with Tumie Tau. We breaking ground, we thinking solutions, we shifting things, we just turning the world upside down for the glory of God. I mean, we are glorious people called, for big things. Let's not play around with the anointing that we carry, guys. We're still sitting here with Mr. Phiri before he leaves, of course, to go be busy with his business. What would you say to a young entrepreneur that actually wants to but is afraid and thinking 100 thoughts, like over calculating its moves?
Absolutely.
What would you say, for them to get up and go?
To me, it goes back to that question I asked. If you're sitting in your deathbed and that question comes, you don't want to live with regret. You don't want to ask yourself, man, I should have done that, because trust me, it will. I don't want to sound insensitive. I don't want to make people feel bad for this, but it can get to a point where it rips you apart, where you're thinking, man, I should have done that. So my advice would definitely be, everything is based on calculated risks.
Yes.
In terms of calculated risk, you don't just say, okay, I've calculated the risk, I'm taking the opportunity. Sometimes you have to consider the fact that maybe I have calculated the risk, but maybe it's not worth it, it's not feasible.
Yes.
Or why is it not feasible? What can I look into?
Yes.
So I would definitely advise them to say, look at what it is that you're trying to do.
Yes.
And can you do it part-time? Can you do it in a matter of, okay, this is what I need, this is what I have to do. The beautiful thing to me that we live in today is that we live in a digital age. I mean, we are part of the fourth industrial revolution.
Yes.
Today, you click your fingers, you're on Google, you've got all the information at your fingertips.
Yeah.
You can find out who's done something similar to what you're doing, or something that you have done that you're planning to do. And I would essentially say that, focus on what strengths do you have, and what it is that you're prepared to do, to say, look, I think I could do this, but I want to make sure I've got my ducks in a row. I know that I'm prepared for this, and I'm ready to take the lead.
Wow. Sure. So, of course, what's next for you? You're planning the show, your event on the 27th. We can only pray you only the best. And thank you so much for actually honoring this invite. I mean, it starts with small things. Right. Can you be trusted with the small things? You want big things, but can you be trusted with the small things?
100%.
So we'll be in touch. We're going to be punting your show as well. We'll talk more about it. I mean, our clients, our listeners are very excited already, about it. So we can only pray you you only the best. And shout out to your family. Shout out to God, for your life. I mean, we pray you only all of God's wisdom and protection.
Yeah.
May He surround you with His hedge of fire, with His great army of angels. May He always go ahead of you. May He be the first thing you think about and the last thing you think about before you go to bed.
Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so that's it. Woo! So yes, that's it. See, it was simple. We just had a chat.
You just had a chat.
We were chatting.
And I had fun having a chat with you.
Yes. Let me try.